Hey there. Today I'm going to do a 30-minute silent meditation. Join me if you want. I will guide you for, say, the first 5 minutes. And then after the 30-minute meditation, I am going to do a commentary. I am going to talk about the different hindrances, thoughts, emotions, feelings that arose during my meditation, and I will connect each of those to shadow work and where that originates from. So yeah, I will just set a timer here for 30 minutes and we'll kick off. So to begin with, just focus on your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, deep breath in, deep breaths out. Do that for another 5 more times. Now that you've got the breaths down, I want you to imagine with each breath a light, healing light is entering your lungs with each breath. However you want to imagine that. So as you breathe in, very light, healing light is coming in through your nose. It's filling up your chest. And when you breathe out, you're exhaling that light. Do that for another 3 times, breathing in the healing light. Breathing out. Now I want you to imagine when you breathe in the healing light, it's going throughout your entire body, starting with your legs. So you breathe in and it goes straight to your legs. And it's keeping it around your legs. And then when you breathe out, it's coming all the way from your legs and breathing out through your lungs and nose. Just repeat that now for another 3 times. Now after that, I want you to imagine the same thing, but now instead of your legs, the healing light is going to your stomach. So you breathe in, goes to your legs, and then it goes to your stomach, and then it goes to your lungs, and then you're breathing it out in the end. Just repeat that for another 3 to 4 times. Now, once you've done that, continue breathing in and out, but now instead just focus on feeling your body. So your sensations, your contact between your ass and the chair, the floor, your legs and the floor, your heat that you feel or the cold that you feel around your skin, your back, your head, your nose, the contact between your arms and your legs, or just your arms with whatever your arms and hands are touching. Just focus on that and keep doing your breaths. Just keep doing that for another 5 times. So once you have started to feel the sensations of your body, now I want you to keep that up. So keep breathing in deep breaths, keep doing the light thing with your body, keep feeling the sensations of your body. But now I want you to focus on what you're perceiving. So the smells, the cold of the breaths that you take in, inhaling and exhaling. The sounds that you're hearing. The light that is just penetrating your eyelids. And just layer all of that on top of each other. And just keep doing that for another 5 breaths. Notice how the sensations, your perception, they're all together and they're always changing. Just notice that and do another 5 more breaths. Notice how your awareness is moving between all of that. If you're feeling any discomfort anywhere, your back is aching, your feet are aching, just be aware of that. Don't try to change it, just be aware of it. If it's really hurting, then yeah, okay, change it. But just be aware of it. Continue now for another 5 breaths. Now I want you to be aware of your feelings, whatever that means to you or however you can perceive it, just how you're feeling right now doing this. You feel calm, you feel uncomfortable, do you feel noisy inside in terms of your thoughts? Just be aware of it and continue for another 5 breaths. Just keep being aware of everything, all the layered things just now I've gone through, just keep doing that. The healing light going up and down, the breaths, the sensations, the feelings, everything, just layer it on and just be aware of it. Continue now for another 3 more breaths. So now that you've done that, now I want you to be aware of all the thoughts that come in throughout this meditation. And just be aware of them. Be aware of being aware of them. Don't try to judge them in any way. Just be aware of them. Notice how everything's connected, how your thoughts are all connected to your sensations, your feelings. Notice how you perceive those thoughts. So when a thought comes in, notice how you're perceiving those thoughts. So what I mean by that is, say you're thinking about work, for example, and the perception of that is maybe negative, positive, neutral. Just be aware of how you're perceiving that. So hopefully I've kick-started you off in your meditation. I'm going into my own silent meditation now. And I will come back to you at the end and do a commentary. Hey guys, welcome back. Ooh, my leg again. It's numb. So that was the end of the 30-minute meditation. I hope the guided segment at the front helped you. If you have any feedback or comments on how I can improve that, let me know. So that was the end of the 30-minute meditation. I will now go through a commentary of my experience of the meditation. I will touch upon the hindrances that arose within me. So my thoughts, feelings, and emotions that arose within me, I will do commentary on them. I will tie them to shadow work and how the realizations and the hindrances and stuff like that can be turned into practical tips and insights for you. So to kick off, I started you off with a guided meditation. So first off, the hindrance with that. By the way, just to cover the hindrance bit, the hindrances are the 5 hindrances in Buddhism. So basically, there are only 5 things that your mind generates, and these are termed as hindrances because they are essentially things that your mind generates that basically get in your way. But they are called hindrances because they don't actually exist. They are just things in your mind that is generated by your mind. And how I like to think of them is those hindrances are generated by your ego and your shadows and your identity, which is why I think meditation is such a great tool to do self-discovery and also to understand your shadows in more depth. And when you understand yourself more, you're able to be more whole and feel lighter and I think enjoy life more. So to kick off, the first hindrance that I felt during the guided meditation segment was anxiety. So I wasn't sure if I was talking too much or if you could follow me. On the flip side to that, I have compassion for you. I really want you to benefit from this in some way. I want it to be useful. So it's good and bad. And essentially the anxiety there is just generated by my mind, right? It doesn't actually exist, but I tie that anxiety to my identity and my shadow. And my shadow with that is basically the shadow of a perfectionist. And I know where that shadow came from. In my childhood, I've had multiple experiences that have reinforced the value of being a perfectionist. So when I feel that things are not in my control, the shadow comes out and I try to control the situation, and that is essentially generated as a hindrance of anxiety. So that's that. If you continued the meditation, well done. What I felt after that was comfort, my comfort levels. My legs were hurting, my back was aching, my legs went numb, and the hindrance of that is desire. So that's one of the 5 hindrances, anxiety being the second one. And, there's no real order to them, but there's 5, and one of them, 2 of them that we've gone over is anxiety, and the other one is desire. So the desire there is the desire for comfort. And the practical tip with that is, if you noticed your comfort levels, after a while of being cognizant of them or being aware of them, you would have noticed that
your awareness would have shifted away from your comfort levels. And in a strange way, you perceived yourself to be more comfortable, if that makes sense. So you are still in that same position, you're sitting and you're feeling discomfort, but if you continued to be aware of it, you would have realized that you're able to sit in that position. And the practical tip with that is that you're able to be okay with discomfort. Some two good analogies I would like to tie to this point is, for example, let's say you love eating sweet, sugary foods, or you like I love buying cereal at the supermarket. I'm always tempted to buy cereal. And when I do buy cereal, I eat the whole box in a day. So I try not to buy it. So when I go to the supermarket, I experience that hindrance of desire, right? I see the cereal box there. I want to buy it. But through meditation, I realize that I'm able to sit with the discomfort of not getting what I desire. So when I go to the supermarket, I say to myself, oh, you know what? If I don't buy this cereal box, it's not going to be as comfortable as I would like, but it's okay really because the discomfort comes and goes. On the flip side to that, if I were to buy the cereal box and I did fulfill my desire, I would buy a cereal box again next week. So, even though you fulfilled your desire, again, it would come back again. If you moved your legs during the meditation because you're uncomfortable, you probably would have felt some other part of your body was uncomfortable. So the practical tip there is, discomfort comes and goes. Your cravings comes and goes. Even when you fulfill those cravings and desires, it comes and goes. So, or if you're feeling, like you don't want to work out today or go to the gym, and say you ended up not going to the gym because it's more comfortable, that comes and goes. So probably next week again, you'd probably be like, I don't want to go to the gym again. Or on the flip side, you went to the gym and you're okay with being in discomfort. So that hindrance, that desire is basically a byproduct of being a human being. So we're all wired to desire. We have cravings for things, material things, food, sex, status. So we're conditioned by society to want those things. So that was the second thing that happened, the second sort of hindrance that came up for me. Then I went into just various thoughts about planning my day. So what am I going to do later? What am I going to eat for dinner? When am I going to post this video? How am I going to edit it? Things like that. And that is, again, the hindrance of anxiety. So I wouldn't say, it's not so bad, because those are pretty normal things. But when your thoughts keep going on and on and on the same thing again and again, that's when I would say the anxiety of hindrance. It's more something you want to pay attention to. But my thoughts just now were just, it kind of came in like, I should eat this today, and then it went away. It wasn't like, what am I going to eat? How much am I going to spend? How much am I going to eat? What am I going to eat? Is it nutritious? Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't say, some things aren't bad, all the thoughts you have aren't hindrances. They're just normal thoughts you have as a human being. When I first started meditating, I used to think that I could label everything as a hindrance and everything was bad and negative. But then now I've come to this point where I'm more balanced, so I can think of those things, and yeah, it's normal to think of those things. And it's helped me realize helped me be more, not realistic, but it's helped me not to hang on to things. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, that was the third sort of hindrance or / whatever. And then I got into a peaceful state. I got into a sense of nonduality. And what I mean by that is I felt like I was one with everything. I felt like everything was flowing, everything was one. I was connected to one. I was connected to everything outside of me, all the thoughts, emotions, sounds, feelings. They were all part of the same thing. It's hard to explain, but that's what I felt. It's almost as if I was a ball, and my thoughts, feelings were in the center, and then my awareness of that was at the very core of that. And then towards the outer sides of the ball was my body, my sensations, my senses. And then on the very outer core of that was the world. So all the sounds, the temperature. So it's hard to explain that, but I just felt that sense of just being one with everything, and feeling like everything was the same thing. And a good analogy I like to use is, like, for example, say you're thirsty, yeah. So that starts out first as a sensation, right? In your body is thirsty. Then from that sensation, it becomes a thought. It flows into becoming a thought. The thought is that I want to drink a cup of water. And then it goes into your feelings. So you're like, I'm not feeling comfortable because I'm thirsty. Because you're not feeling comfortable, you then walk to the kitchen. So that's your sensation, your emotion. The emotion is what drove you to go to the kitchen. Your sensation, your body is what took you there. Your form is what took you there. So now you're in the real world. You're walking around in the real world. You're going to the kitchen. You're using all your senses, your thoughts, your emotions. You're then pouring yourself a glass of water. And now you have a glass of water. And when you think about it, there's no difference between you feeling thirsty and the physical glass of water in front of you. It's almost as if they're part of the same event, if that makes sense. So you feeling thirsty, you thinking you're thirsty, walking to the kitchen, getting a glass of water, having a glass of water, they're all one thing, actually, when you think about it. But they just flowed, they're all sequential in a way. They all flowed into one another, but actually it's just one thing. and then you drink the glass of water, then now your thirst is quenched. So do you get what I'm saying? The sense of non-duality there is, it from you to the outside world, actually all of that was just one event actually. So that's what, that's how I like to think about it, and that's what I felt during my meditation. It just felt like everything was one thing. I think that's the bulk of what I want to share with you today. If you like this video, drop a comment below if you have any feedback. Hope you're well, and I'll see you next time.